funny thing about this Joey Badass West Coast battle was watching the New York media platforms try to act as if they're in tune with Joey Badass music. It's cool to just say, I'm not familiar with his music, but he's holding his own right now, salute. But when you say things like, man, I knew Joey Badass can rap, I didn't know he can rap like this. It's like, fam, what are you saying? Top of the Top, episode 284, Stash House Podcast. Your boy Tyler checking in. First time listeners, thank y'all for tuning in. If you tune in weekly, salute, or there's just an episode, saw some topics you may want to hear about, thank you for tuning in as well. Podcast available on all podcast streaming platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube page, like this video as well on YouTube. Also subscribe to your preferred audio platform. Tell a friend to tell another friend. Check out this show. All love is greatly, greatly appreciated. Hope everyone had a safe week, safe weekend. Do the same this upcoming week. Want to start off with some apologies. Past 2 weeks, been no episode. I didn't give a heads up or anything like that. And just to peel the curtain back a little bit, because normally I'll come on, I'll take a week off randomly and just say, probably was busy or scheduling or just simply burnt out. But these past 2 weeks been kind of unfamiliar territory for me. Not only did I feel burnt out, but I just wasn't motivated. You know what I'm saying? It's very unfamiliar territory. There's been times, October would make it, 7 years? 7 years, I want to say. October would make it since I've been recording podcasts, audio, video. But these past 2 weeks been unfamiliar territory. I haven't been motivated. And I don't know what can I really attest it to. Like, I really don't know where it came from. Obviously, NBA playoffs, some things in music been going on. I had a couple episodes where I could just talk about random stuff throughout the past or, music, different eras of music. But I just didn't feel motivated enough to record. I don't know. I'm sure I'm not the only person that's been through this, creating content, doing the podcast. But for me, it's been unfamiliar territory. It's been times throughout the years where I talked about things I probably didn't do too much research on or simply didn't want to talk about at all. But yet I still made the drive. I still recorded it. I still edited it and put it out to the public. But these past 2 weeks, I just didn't feel the need to. I don't know. And I wish I could tell y'all, I read this book, I watched this video, I listened to this album to get me back in that mode, but I just had to let life a little bit. You know what I'm saying? This past weekend, I spent time with family, had a couple cousins graduate high school. Shout out to all the grads from elementary school, middle school, pre-K, high school, college, continue doing great things. I feel like on Facebook at least, every day for like the past 3 weeks, I've been seeing different kids, adults, get different awards, present different awards. So that was just very motivating. And shout out to the fam. Like I said, I spent time with them throughout the weekend. And I just had to let life. You know what I'm saying? I snapped back into it. It's like, all right, bet this week I'm going to record. I got some episodes in the cut too by the time y'all hear this. So I'm back on track. You know what I'm saying? I'm back on track. If I had to give advice to anybody going through this, one, don't compare yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to talk about that when I talk about this Joey Badass West Coast battle. Don't compare yourself, man. Do not get caught up in what other podcasters are talking about. Don't get caught up in their narratives or nothing like that. Comparison is the thief of joy. I believe that's the phrase everybody's saying. So don't compare yourself. Do your own thing. Stay motivated. Keep you some ideas in the cut just in case you just in that mode of where you don't want to talk about what's going on in the world right now. Keep you some things in the cut that's very enjoyable, bring some positivity out, and just do you at the end of the day, man. Like I said, it was very unfamiliar territory for me. I did get texts and messages like, everything all right, because the way I worded it when I said the podcast coming back, I was just like, apologies for the inconsistency and the inconvenience. That just being, a person creating content and, you got people who pay attention. You know, you got people week after week like, okay, I know Tyler is going to give me at least 20 minutes to 45 minutes of something to listen to or something like that. So when you just take that away from them without any notice, they're like, damn, what, you know what I'm saying, what's the issue? Because I hate that when I was deep into like watching podcasts every week. I used to hate that when people would cancel an episode with like little to no notice. So I can only imagine, you know what I'm saying, people who tune into this, how they might have felt the past 2 weeks. So once again, I apologize. I'm back though. You know what I'm saying? I'm back. Got a lot of things to talk about this week. Mainly going to focus on the Joey Bada West Coast battle. First, let's talk about things that led up to this battle. Talk about my opinion on the different artists that jumped in, the songs, whatever the case may be. And what could this possibly lead to outside of another Joey Bada album? You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to talk about all that, what the media was saying, all that good stuff. So sit back, relax, and enjoy a new episode of Stash House Podcast. Let's get right on into it. So like I said, this week, we're going to focus on the Joey Bada West Coast battle. And let's start with that. What I just said, Joey Bada versus the West Coast. And a lot of media personalities haven't liked that narrative because obviously Joey Bada is from New York. West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. We know what happened in the 90s with Pac and Big. So a lot of media personalities have been very careful of wording this, but at the same time, it is what it is. A few months ago, Joey Bada dropped a song. I want to say it's called The Ruler's Back. I can't remember the exact name of the song. And he referenced the Jay-Z verse where he's like, too much West Coast dick licking, coming after the Kendrick Lamar-Drake battle last year. Kendrick Lamar's on the sold-out stadium tour going crazy right now. And obviously, he's at the top of the top right now. So Joey Bada came out with that. He said what he said. But me personally, as a person who enjoys Joey Bada's music, I'm not going to sit here and act like every time I bring up music, every time I bring up the blog era, I instantly talk about Joey Bada. That's not the case. Throughout my duration of doing this podcast, I know he dropped the 2000 album a couple years ago, and I want to say the Beast Coast album dropped in, 2019? But outside of that, I don't really bring up Joey Bada. I am familiar with his music. I love the Summer Nights mixtape. I love 1999. My personal favorite Joey Bada song is called Panty Raid Part 2. It came out when I was in college. It was just like a Lucy track he threw out. And that song reminds me of like the 90s. You know what I'm saying? The instrumental he used and all that. And when I think of Joey Bada being from New York, he is the typical New York artist I think of when years ago, about 10, 15 years ago, 2011, 12, when he came out with the 1999 mixtape. He's always been in this box to me as the New York artist who I think of when I think about, damn, I wish New York would go back to the 90s sound that I love them for. Because that's been New York whole thing since easily 2010, I feel like. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when I go back and listen, I know that Jim Jones era, that felt like New York. When I think of New York, that Jim Jones era, the Fabulous Soul tape, Max B, French Montana mixtapes, they're like the last bit of what I figured New York music to be, because even when Bobby Shmurda them popped off, it still felt kind of Southern to me at the same time. It had that turn-up value to it, but since then, it's like New York still been trying to capture that moment from the 90s, early 2000s. Joey Bada, along with ASAP, Flatbush Zombies, Underachievers, that whole Beast Coast movement, I always wonder why New York media didn't back those guys up enough. They love ASAP Ferg, they love Rocky, but yet they haven't done their job, in my opinion, the past 10, 15 years to help these New York artists. So that's the one thing with this battle I want to start with. You know what I'm saying? The funny thing about this Joey Bada West Coast battle was watching the New York media platforms try to act as if they're in tune with Joey Bada's music. It's cool to just say, I'm not familiar with his music, but he's holding his own right now. Salute. But when you say things like, man, I knew Joey Bada can rap. I didn't know he can rap like this. It's like, fam, what are you saying? It's your job to keep up with New York artists. Joey Bada in this battle, in my opinion, didn't do anything out of his realm. He's always rapped very good. So just hearing the different platforms from New York speak of Joey Bada as if they've been holding him in high regard for the past 10, 15 years was kind of funny to watch. And of course, like I'm gonna get into the West Coast aspect of things, but you had different West Coast artists come in and, I don't want to say attack Joey, but they, so they threw their hat in the battle as well. So everybody on the New York side was like, well, who can help Joey Badass? And everybody looking around like, well, it can't be Jay-Z, it can't be Nas. Like, who y'all got? In the past 10, 15 years, who does New York have that can stand beside Joey Badass? And keep in mind, no disrespect, the people on the West Coast he was battling are like TDE, little homies. It's not like him and Absol did the cypher and that led into Absol, Joey Badass. That didn't happen. It's not like J-Rock came out. Kendrick ain't even acknowledging it right now. He's, like I said, he at the top of the mountain. Schoolboy in the cut chilling. So he's battling the little homies, but yet New York doesn't have anybody of a name at the moment. With all due respect, with a name at the moment, who we can be like, oh, okay. Because at the same time, this was like a if you know type of battle. Like, I didn't see people outside of Twitter talking about this. Like, when I got on my Facebook, it wasn't people having discourse about this. Instagram, I didn't really see too much discourse shit. On my TikTok algorithm, I didn't see too much discourse. So it was really like a Twitter thing, in my opinion. But seeing different New York media platforms, like, well, what about Dave East? What about Griselda? I'm like, well, Griselda made it known, like, they are Buffalo. New York City business has nothing to do with Buffalo, so they out of it. Dave East, he's another artist who I felt like New York media platform didn't really put their support in all the way. I always said during that time period, I want to say 2016, 2017, I know I just graduated college. At the time, New York had Dave East who was bubbling, and he had the co-sign from Nas. Young M.A. had the Ooh song that was going crazy throughout that whole summer. And A Boogie dropped that great mixtape. That first A Boogie mixtape was fantastic. You know what I'm saying? Drake brought him out, Summer 16 tour. So they had three people in New York at the time who I felt like, okay, New York probably getting a little energy. They might come back with a little something. And the media just didn't really get behind neither one of them, in my opinion. I felt like Young M.A., they treated her like, okay, you got one hit, cool, do your freestyles, all right, whatever. Dave East, they made jokes saying he made music for graveyard shift workers. A Boogie, they felt like he was too much catering to the kids, so they didn't. So I'm like, it's a New York media thing, because if it was somebody in New York who was popping at the time and they was in this situation, it would have been a lot more attention. And Joey Badass has been holding his own for 10, 15 years. But if you know, you know. That's why I don't think this battle got too much attention outside of the people who honestly cared. You know, so I feel like some people who were talking about this battle for like the past 2 weeks, they didn't really care about it. They just want to talk about it because it's a trending topic. Cause some people said it like, man, I don't listen to Joey Bada, but I'm listening to him now because of this thing with the West Coast. The guys on the West Coast, I never heard of them, but they in this tour with Joey Badass. I'm listening to their songs, but I might not listen to their catalog. So it was an odd battle, in my opinion. Definitely coming off of last year with the star power of Drake and Kendrick. This was kind of toned down a little bit, but at the same time, it was all lyrical exercise. I enjoyed a little bit of it. I'm not going to act like I sat here and listened to all the songs that dropped, because it was days where I feel like 5 people dropped the song, and I'm like, I'm not about to listen to one. I'm not about to listen to people who I'm not familiar with in a battle. If you understand what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is Kai Cash, J1, Jadakiss son, a little bit. I'm familiar with him, but I don't know his music to that point of the first time I want to hear you is in like a battle or a beef scenario. You know, I'd rather know your catalog a little bit, know you got a few songs, a few verses, then be like, okay, he putting his hat into the battle. But some people I don't know at all. Daylight, battle rapper, you know, the stigma of battle rappers don't make good songs. That kind of still hold up in my opinion. Shout out to Sue Surf though. Who else from the West Coast? Reason, I'm familiar with Reason. He got let go by TDE. I figured he was going to jump in. It started with Rayvon and Joey Badass, this battle. If it was anybody else I figured would jump in, it would have been Reason, because I just figured Reason would jump in. I didn't have no information before. I just figured I feel like Reason's gonna jump in, and he did. Ray Vaughn, I've been seeing his videos on Instagram and TikTok, but I haven't dug into his catalog at all, neither. So it was an odd position, and me being from the South, they made it known like this New York and LA business and all that. So I'm like, I'm just watch it and see how it play out. It was cool. It was cool for the time being. It wasn't nothing too spectacular, in my opinion. Joey Badass held his own, as he should have. Like I said, he was going after the little homies. So I would have been surprised if Joey Badass didn't hold his own, but he definitely did. I did appreciate the fact, even though I wasn't keeping up with every song throughout the days, because like I said, it was like a week. I felt like 4 or 5 songs were dropping. It felt good to know there's artists still out there who on some, okay, he dropped this song, I'm going to go in the studio and drop my song either the next day or hours after he dropped his song. I did like that. Like that Friday night when, that Friday, I'll say when Kendrick dropped, I want to say 616 in L.A., Drake dropped Family Matters, then Kendrick dropped Meet the Grams, then Not Like Us, then The Heart Part 6 came out. Like how that back and forth happened, it was like this with that battle as well. It just, I wasn't familiar enough with these artists to like rush to listen to these songs. That's what it was. The songs I did hear, Reasons was cool. J1, I expected a little bit more from Jadakiss son. Like a couple verses I heard from him throughout the past year or so been cool. But of course, when you Jadakiss son, people have different expectations. Of course, not only does Jadakiss have the bars, but it's the voice as well. His son doesn't really have that voice. He has like a Fab Mace type of vibe to him. So a lot of people were saying, his song was kind of at the bottom. Kai Cash really, I think, got a lot more attention. If anybody gained a new fan base, I'll say it's Kai Cash. Joey Bada has been established. Yes, he probably got some new listeners, but Joey Bada has been out since 2011, 12-ish. So, he's not new. But Kai Cash, in terms of a new artist, he's the one I've seen people, Kai Cash, like, if anybody probably gained a lot, it was him. Ray Vaughn held his own, too. He's the new signee, the TDE. And Ray Vaughn made it clear, even before this started, Ray Vaughn made it clear. He was like, man, I just had a project coming out. I'm about to use this for my rollout. And like I said, he was like he a little homie. So it like, people was like, okay, what do you, like Scrappy Doo or something like that? Like, obviously Kendrick. Joey Badass made it clear, like, I want Kendrick, whoop-de-whoop. I understand it, but at the same time, it is different. Yes, y'all from the same era, the blog era. I understand that. I respect it, but not right now. Not right now. I hate to use he's on a tour right now, but not only he's on a tour right now, you saw what he just did last year. And, Daylight, the battle rapper Daylight, when he threw his hat in the battle, he posted a picture of Capital Steez, who Joey Badass friend, who sadly passed away years ago. I think like right before they started popping, because Capital Steez was, if not right next to Joey Badass, he was like probably the guy out of pro era, their crew. So when Daylight posted that, it was like, oh, damn, you can get a little bit dark with Joey Badass because, this Capital Steez situation. And so I was like, Joey, just focus on who's in front of you right now, because Dot, he's not acknowledging that he didn't even do nothing at the show to even show. I'm sure he's paying attention. Like I say, just because they're not on social media don't mean they're not paying attention. But at the same time, it is what it is. Going back to the media aspect of things, though, because for the most part, when it comes to the songs and what I've heard from the songs I listened to, it was, yeah, we battling right now, but nobody really went over the line or nothing like that. But the media aspect did, because after last year, the West Coast got their media platforms. Obviously, New York got their media platforms. And the one thing as well with the Joey Badass and the West Coast battle, media platforms are trying to be biased, but at the same time, as a listener, it's hard to listen when you're sounding crazy. We learned that last year with the Drake and Kendrick battle. And because of the Drake and Kendrick battle last year, some of the things people said then compared to what they're saying now, it's like, okay, obviously y'all are just trying to get views and clicks. You can't say Drake Kendrick battle, I don't remember the Euphoria song. I can't remember a bar Kendrick said in the Euphoria song. Then come back this year with Joey Bada and say, man, Joey Bada is barring people up on the West Coast. He barring everybody up. You just said you can't remember what Kendrick said on Euphoria, but all of a sudden you saying Joey Bada is going crazy with the bars in this battle. Come on now. Last year you made it clear Kendrick Lamar won against Drake, but you can't say Joey Badass obviously won this battle with the West Coast. It's just odd, man. And that's why I say don't compare yourself, man, because some of these guys are fighting for the views, which I don't understand in this day and age. If I could say anybody in the media game who doing things I'm looking at is like, yeah, he thinking next level right now, is what Casanat is doing right now with Streaming University. Them folks ain't thinking about no damn Joey Badass. They ain't thinking about no West Coast, East Coast. Them man that got, I don't know what campus they at, but he got like a gang of streamers on a college campus, and they all streaming live. It's like a school, day in the life at school type of vibe. I don't know these kids. I know Duke Dennis. I heard of DDG. I heard of Cooking with Kaya. I know the names of the ones that's popping on TikTok and all that. But some of these people coming in, they showing they live with like 6 viewers, and like Duke could jump in. They 6 viewers go to like 1,000 views. So what Casanat is doing, man, that's what I'm looking at as forward thinking, forward motion in the media game. You know what I'm saying? What these podcasters are doing on the East and West Coast, when it comes to music, we talking like music, or artists from the West Coast or the artists from the East Coast, I just block them out, dog. And I definitely don't listen to what they got to say about artists from the South. So it's kind of an odd position to be in right now moving forward, because these guys said one thing last year, and now all of a sudden with Joey Badass, now y'all want to switch things up. It's like, no, just keep the same energy. Keep the same. I understand being biased. If Gucci Mane, Wayne, Currency, one of my people get into something, of course I'm going to hope that they come out on top, but I ain't going to just be biased. I said it with Kendrick and Drake last year. I'm a fan of both of these guys' music. I'm just going to call it how I see it. I ain't going to come over here and say, man, Drake ain't talking about shit. He probably could have went a little bit harder, but I ain't going to just downplay what the man did. Like, he did do what he could against Kendrick. Kendrick was just obviously well organized and well planned for the moment. But you can't just downplay what another man doing simply because, you know, I'm going to rep this side. I feel better knowing, okay, you from this side, but you going to play it down the middle. I feel better knowing that. So all in all, when it comes to this Joey Badass West Coast battle, it was cool for the moment, but seeing what the media is going through right now on both sides is kind of odd, because you got West Coast media platforms saying, all right, East Coast, New York, y'all feel this way. When y'all come out here and y'all get robbed, don't call us. And it's like, hey, man, it's like PNB Rock happened, Pop Smoke happened. It's like certain things I feel like you crossing the line. I'm like, man, at the end of the day, y'all just giving y'all opinions on songs. How did this become, if you get robbed, don't call us? You know what I'm saying? It's cool to say, it's cool to just keep it music. Cool, keep it music. If you want to say, well, who New York got outside of the legends who can help Joey Badass, talk about that. Talk about how New York hasn't really built up an artist of some structure in the past 10, 15 years. They built up Ice Spice, Cardi B, and I'm like, damn, bro, y'all got the Dave Eastes, y'all got the A Boogies, y'all got artists who I've heard throughout the years. I'm like, that's a cool New York artist, but I bet the media won't get behind them. Rosenberg, if anybody. Peter Rosenberg, the only one that probably try to build up your typical New York lyrical artist throughout the years. But the rest is just, okay, they got a cool song. Let's act like they got 5 classic albums. It's like, damn, bro, slow down. They got a cool song for the summer. We ain't gonna act like this person drop classics or nothing like that. So talk about that. But when it comes to personal and y'all scared to come out here, don't come out here, and I'm like, all right. Me being a Southerner, I found it very entertaining to just see how we went from Joey Bada dropping that song to the Cypher with Big Sean, Absol, which was respectful. Absol and Joey Bada, they were very respectful, but they were still talking their shit. So I'm like, okay, cool. Then Rayvon and everybody jumped in. I'm like, okay, cool. It's, I don't see nobody else talking about it outside of Twitter and, saying people who in that lane, but it was cool to watch. And then all of a sudden the media, just do y'all thing, man. Just do y'all thing. Keep it music, dog. It ain't that serious. It ain't that serious, man. I don't know how we got to this point after last year. I'm not sure. It just the bias, and that what used to kill me years ago with podcasts, just the obvious bias. And I'm like, dang, bro, like this person doesn't have a flawless catalog. It's cool to say, yo, I really love his music. He's my favorite of all time, but I don't like this album, this song, whoop de whoop. Just the clear, this person has all hits, no misses, and it's just odd, man. I'm a fan of Gucci. I'm a fan of Wayne. I ain't going to sit and act like the 1,000 mixtapes they got is all flawless. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to sit here and act like Currency just dropped flawless mixtapes throughout the years. I'm going to say, well, this one right here is at the bottom of the list. He could have kept that one to himself or whatever. It's odd, man. It's very odd. If you haven't already, there's a gang of songs that came out the past 2 weeks with this Joey Bada West Coast battle. If you haven't already, check them out. You might find somebody you like never heard of. Be like, oh, that was cool. Let me see what else they got in the cut. But me personally, it was cool for the time being. But at the same time, I don't think I heard anybody who I haven't heard of before to where I'm like, wow, I might want to go check out their catalog. I know Joey Bada's catalog. You know what I'm saying? Reason has an album I really enjoy. Rayvon, all the younger cats, give them some more time. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at with them. So, yeah, I just want to come in real quick, man, talk about that. Like I said, I've been in the funk the past 2 weeks in terms of podcasting. And that's the odd thing about that. Yeah, I was unmotivated, but it was simply based on this podcast. Like, life been smooth. But when it comes to this, it's like I just didn't have the urge to record, edit, and all that good stuff. So, I'm back. Like I said, I got episodes in the cut waiting. So, for the time being, Stash House Podcast is back. Next time I do take off, I will be sure to let y'all know ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? I got messages and DMs. I was like, whoa, salute. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to y'all. Anybody else want to pursue content and all that, just know this will come with it. You know what I'm saying? This will come with it. Not only this, but the technical aspect of things and all that. But just keep a straight and narrow, man. Keep a straight and narrow mind. Focus on the bigger goal at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? I know this go week to week, but like I say, that one comment, that one view can change everything. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate y'all for tuning in. This has been episode 284, Stash House Podcast. Make sure you guys go out, have a great work week. Enjoy your summer. Stay hydrated. Find some AC, man. Enjoy yourselves. Be aware of y'all surroundings. You know what I'm saying? It's getting hot outside. Y'all know what come with that. So just be aware of y'all surroundings. Overall, enjoy yourself, though. Enjoy yourself. Eat good food, man. Stay in good health. Make sure you get your fruits and vegetables in, your water in. Deodorant. Please, y'all. It's getting hot. It don't take too long to put some damn deodorant on. So put some deodorant on and enjoy yourself, man. Keep God first. Keep me in your prayers. I'll do the same for y'all. Salute.